Hi. So, working from home as a result of the movement control order or lockdown from COVID-19 is a new experience for many of us. After a few weeks now, we feel like we're working longer hours with no boundaries between our work and personal lives, and yet we feel less productive and less engaged. Or at least the bosses and team leaders feel that their team's productive output is low, and they yearn for the time when this is over and teams can go back to working together from the office again. And our social media feeds are flooded with a ton of webinars, blog articles, and videos from many people sharing tips and practices on how to make work from home succeed, including by people who run permanent remote teams. And there are big companies out there that have a 100% remote workforce, like WordPress with over 1,000 employees. Today, though, I'm going to share one key reason why it's hard to adjust despite the knowledge of how successful remote work practices being so widely available. The principles of what to do are quite consistent by all of these experts. They say, number one, right, have a clear schedule or routine and set reminders, right? What time you start, what time you break for lunch, what time you stop at the end of the day. Two, have a specific desk set up at home that's your designated workspace. Make it comfortable and appealing with sunlight, good internet connection, and a comfortable chair. Three, do regular video check-ins with your teams with tools like Zoom and Microsoft Teams and Google Meets first thing in the morning and checkouts at the end of the day. Next, don't make online meetings 100% about work and tasks only, but leaders should encourage social interaction, including video sessions without a work agenda, just for team members to hang out and catch up with each other's personal lives or even video happy hours. Next, using collaboration or project management tools, right? Whether it's Monday.com, ClickUp, Trello, Asana, Basecamp, so many of them out there, so that team members know clearly what are the priorities for the day and the week. And this removes the need to use video calls to update statuses. But instead, calls should highlight progress, problems, or issues that require follow-up coordination to solve. And lastly, leaders should highlight progress and wins regularly, no matter how small they are. Yet, despite all of these clear, proven principles of successful remote working, many teams out there are not implementing them and continue to struggle to be productive with working from home. And the one reason is that they've not mentally committed to working from home. The expectation is that this situation is only temporary and things will go back to how they used to be. So a good story that illustrates this phenomenon comes from Dr. Sean Lee, Nullary's head of science and clinical psychologist. Sean shares with us the findings from a research project on people who have to go through a stoma surgery or a colostomy. Now, a stoma is an opening in your stomach's wall that a surgeon makes so that waste can leave our body if we cannot have regular bowel movement through our rectum or we cannot pass motion, right? So you might get one if you have surgery to remove or bypass part of your large intestine, the colon or the rectum, and cannot have bowel movements the usual way. This surgery is called a colostomy. Now, the surgeon attaches the end of your colon to the stoma opening, and bowel movements leave your body through that, and it's collected in a special pouch that you empty out. Now, sometimes doctors do a colostomy to allow a damaged section of the bowel to heal over time, right? In this case, the stoma is temporary. You'll have it for a few weeks or months, and once the damage is healed, the surgeon reverses the procedure and reattaches the ends of the intestine. However, if a large piece of the bowel has to be removed, you'll need that stoma permanently. So, research was done on the happiness level of those who had to go through a permanent procedure and compared to those who have a temporary procedure. And this might seem counterintuitive to you, but it turns out that research shows that those who had a permanent disability had a higher overall life satisfaction and quality of life than those who had to cope with a temporary setback. You see, knowing an adverse situation is temporary interferes with adaptation, leading to this paradoxical situation in which people who are better off objectively, because their situation is really temporary, are worse off subjectively. So expecting that somehow this COVID-19 pandemic will eventually end and things will go back to normal so we don't need to adapt causes us to subconsciously avoid making the changes we know logically we should make. So we should expect that things will not go back to how it was before, but we will see a new normal, right? This event will catalyze a new era. How we work, how we socialize, that will change. Digital wallets and electronic transactions become more widely accepted. Digital health becomes more prevalent. And leaders will come to accept that managing a team does not require everyone to be physically present in one place so that you can supervise with your own eyes. So acceptance is a big part of adjustment. Some are struggling to adjust to indoor exercise because they've been used to going out to a gym or running or cycling outdoors, and when those are suddenly taken away, they completely stop exercising because mentally they just hope things will go back to normal. But if you start with the mindset that we have to have permanent setups, right? So that we can work indoors at home, set up so that even post-COVID-19, we have exercise routines we can do at home, we're more likely to be able to go through this period happier. So don't just wish for things to go back to normal. Make this the starting point of a new normal that will go completely long into the future, right? And that's going to allow us to be mentally fitter and more resilient to these unexpected shocks, because these shocks are going to come over and over again. So I wish you the best of health, physically and mentally. Let's keep supporting each other, and let's keep things positively personal.